Welcome back to the My 98.3 Monroe Bank and Trust Economic Update. For WMIM, I'm Ryan Nutter, President and CEO of Monroe Bank and Trust. Doug Chafin. Doug, good to see you.
Good to see you again, Ryan.
All right, there's a lot to cover. And, of course, this is airing during a month where the conversation continues to be government shutdown, the debt ceiling, and there's a lot of uncertainty right now. So how does this affect us?
Well, short term, most Americans won't see any effect of the temporary, what I'm going to call a temporary government shutdown. There would be some slowdown in services, and of course some things such as national parks, when they're temporarily closed, upset some people, get sensationalized a little bit. Mm-hmm. But by and large, you really don't see any true effect. However, if this continues on for several days, hopefully no more than that, there is a potential that independent contractors, businesses, and companies that do business with the federal government, such as defense contract suppliers, such as technical suppliers and that type of thing, they could see some layoffs and they could see some possible job losses, and that's really a concern.
The other big part of this debate and conversation, of course, is the debt ceiling, and no one can seem to agree on any type of compromise solution or even the opportunity to sit down and have a conversation. So right. What are you hearing about this?
Well, the Congress authorizes U.S. Treasury to write a check, basically, mm-hmm. and they put a limit on that. That's the debt ceiling that you hear so much about. It's projected that October the 17th or thereabout, we're basically going to run out of that ability to write those checks. There's some cash in the coffers that could allow the federal government to continue on for a few days. However, the real concern is if there is not an increase in the ceiling or some compromise with the budget reached to allow that increase to occur, we could potentially default on U.S. debt. Treasury securities, U.S. Treasury notes, and the like. Our investors rely on the interest that the U.S. government pays them, and if they're not receiving that interest, that's called a default. And that's never happened in U.S. history before. What's likely to occur is the value of those securities start to drop dramatically. Hopefully that's only short term. No one really knows what the true effect of that is, so we're frankly hoping we're not going to find out.
It's the My 98.3 MBT Economic Update. He's Doug Chafin. I'm Ryan Nutter. All of this, I don't want to say doom and gloom, but negative, there's so much going on. Is there any good news out there that we can kind of hold on to help us through?
Well, prior to this most recent crisis, if you will, things were actually looking fairly good. It was that slow, steady improvement that we've been talking about. In August, the employment numbers went up by about 170,000 jobs, which isn't exactly what we'd like to see, but it's growth nonetheless, and really continuing on that slow, steady improvement trend that we've been talking about. Unemployment rates are low sevens, better than what they were 3 or 4 years ago. So we saw some positive signs. Frankly, I think that cooler heads will prevail. Congress will come to terms with the debt ceiling issue, and that'll get all behind us.
Anything else going on before we let you go?
Things actually are still looking fairly well. We're seeing some good activity at Monroe Bank and Trust. Our borrowers continue to ask for money, which is a good thing. Interest rates are still relatively low. Small businesses are slowly and surely coming back, and we're still seeing that.
For Doug Chafin, I'm Ryan Nutter, and this is the My 98.3 Monroe Bank and Trust Economic Update. Get more by logging on to mbnt.com.